Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Broadcasting Network, 10:50 a.m., following broadcasts in 102.3 FM and 106.5 FM. We are serving the world one household at a time. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Up Connect, and Kimiator Peak Performance Coaching.
Welcome back to Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. I am your host, Steve Matley, and so far today we have talked about investing in private art collections. We've talked about how you can be a private lender, and I'm bringing our first guest back again because Brooke Eldridge not only has a great art collection, he's got a very extensive collection of sports memorabilia as well. And that is an entirely different animal than the art, but also very popular and something that I know very little about. So if you're like me and you've seen people that do this and wondered how this works, we're going to find out a little today by picking the brain of Brooke, who's an expert on this. Brooke, welcome back.
Hey, welcome. Glad to be here. Thank you, Steve.
So I noticed, Brooke, that when I've been to your house, after being overwhelmed by the art collection, I walk into this room off to the side, and there's
a man cave.
There is a man cave that has got so much sports memorabilia in it, and the more you look, the more you find. Because sports, unlike art that's a big, huge painting on the wall, it's a baseball, it's a glove, it's a it's a tee, it's something like that, and sometimes you got to look hard to see what's behind everything in the case, and it's just overflowing. So again, let's talk the last time. How did you get started with collecting sports memorabilia?
Well, I was a sport athlete when I was in school, and I think at that time you're getting your little plaques and you're getting that type of stuff, and you go, oh, wow, I'm somebody. And then you start going along, you find you're nobody. You were a good ball player or whatever. What's so important is what do you do with your life after your sports or whatever. I have sports memorabilia by quite a few of the big boys. And if you're going to try to collect it, that's where you want to start if you can. And normally it is very reasonable. For example, I have a football signed by Joe Namath. There's not a whole bunch of them signed by Joe Namath. But on top of that, I have another artist that will go and paint Joe Namath's face on the football.
Okay.
So now you have his signature with that football. There's like one of them in the world. What's it worth? Probably from $1 to $1 million. So where do you get the value for it? You have to end up going to a Sotheby's type auction for sports memorabilia, and they will start it at $50,000. If it doesn't go, then they'll say $25,000. Might end up at $100,000. You just don't know. It's just like art. You buy it by known sports athletes, and it makes no difference. They can be snowboarders, or they can be skaters, or they can be skiers, or they can be football or baseball players.
Okay, so obviously if you're starting with people that are well known, they're probably likely the basic four pro sports. It's going to be football, baseball, hockey, basketball is my guess. And then from there you can branch out to the next level of sports. It'd be the soccer or maybe tennis stars, those kind of people. Where do you go to find this? I know there's shops and stores around, or do you find it at garage sales or estate sales? Where do you find these things?
Well, you have to just go to all different sports memorabilia stores. They will have them. But here's the problem. You might have a bat signed by Tony Gwynn, but that is what we call already done, manufactured, and delivered. The bat's worth $50 to $100. Now, if you get Tony Gwynn to sign that bat, like I have done on several bats and gloves, then it becomes almost an invaluable asset, and there's no one that can tell you what it's worth. It's you put it on the auction block, and it is what it sells for. That's the value of it, and nobody can ever tell you what it is. If there's a real big Tony Gwynn collector in the audience, you're probably going to make more. If there isn't a real Tony Gwynn collector in that audience, then you probably get the absolute bare minimum.
Okay, and when you're looking at this stuff, if you have, let's say you have a Tony Gwynn bat, I know you have a Junior Seau jersey, I believe.
Yep.
I think I saw in there. When a famous athlete passes away, both those two men are no longer with us. God rest their souls. They were both, of course, San Diego heroes, right? So, does the value go up?
Oh, absolutely, because they're not signing any more bats, they're not signing any more balls, so there is, like anything else, a limited number of them. Junior Sale, for example, I have helmets signed by Junior Sale, and this is an original signature by Junior. I have jerseys signed by Junior Sale, so that's worth more. Now, another one, going back to your previous question, I go to a lot of these athletic events, like when they're having a golf tournament or something like that, and you'll be surprised how many of these ball players show up baseball and football. So I will bring maybe a bat, baseball or football, already autographed by them that you buy at any sport memorabilia store. Then you have them sign it, it's worth more. I've also brought regular footballs that have the white section on one of the footballs, and I have them sign that. Now it becomes a unique and another way to try to, because you don't have a certificate of authenticity. What I do, I get a picture with the athlete either as they're signing it or as they're passing me back the ball to verify that, yes, this is the individual that signed it. I have another ball that is almost priceless. I have it signed by 9 most valuable players of football. But I have pictures with like 1 or 2 of them. So that's not really his signature. Then you have to try to compare it, that type of stuff. But it doesn't exist. I have the only one in existence. What's it's worth? What somebody else will pay for that particular football.
And have you ever sold any of your memorabilia?
Oh, yes, and I've made money on just about all of them. I have baseballs signed by Tony Gwynn. I have baseballs signed by Pete Rose.
Okay.
Now, what I did, I bought his baseball, and then if you go to Vegas, to my knowledge, he's still there signing, so you bring the ball and he will sign it. Then I had my artist, who is Gene Locklear, an actual professional ball player himself, who has now become an artist, and I have paintings by him, and he paints the faces on there. I have other sports memorabilia by Bill Walton, who's a personal friend of mine, so it's not hard to get Bill to sign me a couple of items, and then we donate them, and we do charities with those. Of course, I keep 1 or 2 of them so that I have it in my man cave.
Now, I also noticed you have a pretty good collection of tennis trophies. Now, are those celebrity trophies that you've collected, or are those yours?
No, some of them are mine. It depends which ones you're looking at.
Okay.
But I have them by Steffi Graf. I have them by Bobby Riggs, if you want to call him a sports individual.
He was a big name.
Yeah, and then I have them by Jimmy Connors. I have a couple others that right now their names are eluding me. But yes, anytime you can get the original, and it's not something that's done by the machine, it is almost priceless once they pass away.
Okay. And you earned a few of those trophies yourself, though, right?
Oh,
You're a
yeah,
pretty good tennis
I got
player?
quite a few. I used to be a pretty good tennis player. Now we're doing that foolish pickleball, and all my tennis players, they're not playing tennis anymore. We're all playing pickleball.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of when handball went to racquetball. It was a little bit different. So now, you also, do you have any surf sports memorabilia?
I have a couple by Fry, I had a surf shop for 12 years.
That's what I was asking. I knew
in
you had a
Pacific
surf
Beach.
shop, yeah.
And so I have 2 surfboards, and they were by Skip Fry, who is one of the more famous San Diego sports individuals.
Okay, so your recommendation to anybody that wants to get into sports collecting, what would you suggest they do to start?
Well, make sure that he is somebody that is reasonably famous at that time. Get the signature if you can. Obviously, get it on you get it on a napkin, you get it on something else, that's okay, but it's worth much less than a baseball, football, or a surfboard by Skip Fry.
Okay, and probably worth more if it was a ball from an actual game or something, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we're running out of time again. Brooke, it's fascinating to talk to you. I wish we had more time to go through this because I like to talk to you about some other things too, because you are a consummate collector of different things. All I say, thank you so much for coming down here. I know you've got a lot of stuff in your schedule. Again, this is another thing where if part of just having a fabulous lifestyle is you collect what you like, you do what you enjoy, you take your passions and your interest and turn them into something that actually can generate some money for you too, that then in turn can create more income to further enjoy your fabulous lifestyle. So we'll be back after this. I have a special call-in guest talking about equestrian investments. Don't go anywhere. This is Steve Matley on Fabulous Lifestyle Radio.
We are live on KCAA Broadcasting Network 10:50 a.m., following broadcasts in 102.3 FM and 106.5 FM. We are serving over 5 million households in the Inland Empire, North County, San Diego, Orange County, and San Gabriel Valley. We are serving the world one household at a time. We are also in iHeart, Spotify, Tiki Live, Ustream, Apple, iTunes, and anywhere with your favorite podcast. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Up Connect, and Kim Yater Peak Performance Coaching.